The scariest thing that ever happened to you?
I don't know if I had any scary things ever happen to me. I mean,
Do you consider?
some things didn't have time to be scary.
Yeah, this may get into some of your sawmill close
Oh,
calls, or
There's been close calls.
yeah,
Scary.
tell us a couple close calls.
Well, of course, the main one is that one where I was using the tractor and had the forks on it, and I parked it out from the planing mill, headed up toward the road, and knew when I did it, those forks were up about maybe 2.5, 4 feet from the ground. No fold leading there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I realized when I did it, because I was going to be right back with it in a few minutes. And then I was using the forklift up by the road, headed toward the road, and for some reason I found myself rolling backwards. I can't remember if the brakes wouldn't work or if I couldn't get it in gear, but I was freewheeling back toward those forks, and I knew the forks were up, and I knew I was headed right for it. Gotta hit them.
So you knew going into that situation what was
yes.
facing you then.
I knew I was headed right toward them.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Of course, when it hit, one fork came by me on this side, the other fork came through over here on this side. I was just froze in the seat. I don't know if I even thought of jumping out, because I knew it was so close. There I was. I was alone that day.
Did you ever have any log? I don't think I've ever heard a log story. Do you have any log stories?
Well, a couple of them. Yeah, you know how we used to pile the logs high on the rollway?
Yeah.
And if they were only up about so high, we could put planks in the truck platform out across there and get the logs right up ahead, so it'd make room for more back. One day I went out there with a scale stick to scale them, and when Bakery pulled in there, it wasn't a big load, it wasn't a high load, but they were frozen hemlock about that size, and he had 2 bunks on there, and he held the outside log with a chain around it, and he unhooked it, and I got in between the logs and that pile. The logs would pile up about so high, and his level of his truck was about so high, and I stepped in there. He had the planks all on, and they unhooked that chain, those logs come zooming right across there. I can't remember for sure if I was facing toward the mill or away from it, but either way is the same. I think my back was to the pile of logs, and those logs shot right out at me, chest high.
Yeah.
The end of the chain caught on the last hook and stopped him just like that when the logs got to my chest and my back to the pile.
So how close were they to your chest? Just brushing against it, you
I
mean?
think they were up to me.
Yeah.
But it never bumped me.
Huh.
But they were frozen hemlock.
Wow. Of course, I was there the day that you were cleaning out the slab pile. There was a slab pile there and a pile of lumber leaning right against it. And as he dug through the
Piled right all over it.
yeah, and as he was cleaning out the slab pile and got down to a certain point, the lumber pile, just lost its, what was leaning against it, and it just fell over right on his leg, and just he and I were there. So he said, "You run quick up to Vern Baker's and call the ambulance." And I didn't have any clue that he was hurt, or I knew the lumber was on him, but I didn't know he was hurt or anything. But boy, when he told me to run up to Vern Baker's house to call an ambulance, I knew it must be something serious. And sure enough,
Jim tried to move the lumber, but he wasn't big enough.
It wasn't big enough. So how long were you at? Of course, in the story, as he broke his leg, really seriously.
Broke both of them.
And how long?
Both bolts.
How long were you out? You were out a long time. You were laid right up in bed for a long time.
Well, that happened. happened early September, and I got off the crutches in February.
Yeah.
When I got off the crutches that day, I stood up behind the edger and worked all day.
There was an advantage, though, to Dad breaking his leg. That was, Dad refused to get a TV, and our neighbor across the he was laid up in bed in the front room all day with nothing to do, and the neighbor across the street felt sorry for him, so he brought a TV over and gave it to us. And I was probably, it was 1959 is when it was. I was 11 years old, and when it happened, there was a baseball game on, I remember, and I got to watch my baseball and everything. So thanks, Dad, for your broken leg.
Mary was in the academy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, oh yeah, because you rode out there with your broken leg.
Yeah, but I also, the day the thruway was closed, I was the only one on the road with the snow shovel. I just got off the crutches. Nobody else had a shovel.
Okay.
Oh, there was another time, this is short, but I remember I was working on the logs and then just a single layer high on the bank. And they started and I rolled right down on top of them, on my belly. Not very far, I'd have gotten an arm or leg or something under one of them. But it was just far enough to give me quite a thrill.